Good morning, my friends. This is Xavier Bau and Rossana Taylor, your host for our mini-series called Add More and Adventure. Today, Javier is going to be leading the conversation, and he's going to be talking about secrets for a flawless photography and a smarter budget. So let's say welcome to Javier.
Hola, Rossana. Thank you very much. Good morning. Thank you for having me here one more time. It's a pleasure to be here with you. And yeah, we're going to be talking today about uh, which are the best months to have flawless pictures, beautiful wedding photos. Okay, that's a very nice question that I always get. It's not the same having a wedding photography in summertime than in wintertime.
Of course,
You
yeah.
know, the weather, the sky, the rain, the humidity, it changes a lot. So, which is the best month? Okay, you know, it all depends. It all depends on the bride on what she really wants. Okay, but I can mention some difference between the months. Okay, as you know, we have high seasons and we have low seasons,
Yes.
and that is for a reason. You know, high seasons is because there is a lot of opportunity for people to travel. You know, the weather might be the best. Um, we have, for example, April and May, which is high season for weddings over here in the Riviera Maya. November, December is also a very high season, and we can say that the lowest season is could be like September, around September. You know, the hurricane seasons. Okay, but what about the photos? Um, the photos in the high seasons, for example, November. My favorite month, to be honest, is November. You
Oh,
know, because in November, you know, there is no more hurricanes, there is no more rainy season. The seaweed, the sargasso, is also gone most of the times. So
yes.
we have this clean white beach, you know, for the background for the photos. So November also it has the best weather. You know, it's not that hot. It's like winter time, and it's a little fresh, you know. And also the sunsets are, you know, more earlier. So yeah, it's the perfect month for me for the quality of the photos. Okay, we have to think about because it is a high season, so the price might go a little higher, but if you have the budget, it's worth it. You know, what do you think about the months?
Fantastic. Now, from the travel point of view, from the cost for the bride that is trying to decide the best date for them and their group, we have to say that the month of April and May are wonderful. It's perfect on weather. It's also before the hurricane season, before the sargassum, but it's high season, right? It's from January to April, and then the shoulder month of May, the prices might go slightly lower, but it still is higher than September and October, which are the low season and from the travel point of view, and where you can find better prices. But yes, you are risking to be traveling through the hurricane season. So those are things that you need to be aware when you're making your decisions. What is best for you, for your friends, for your family, which one accommodate to your uh, budget, to your needs. I had a couple that got their wedding at Secret Sakumal on October the 16th. And thank God they didn't have any issues with the weather or anything, but it's something that could happen. Now, the good thing is for you as a bride planning your wedding, let's say in September, October, what you can do is make sure that the hotel has that plan for what happened when it rains, what happened when there's when everything has to be shut down. So they have that backup plan because the hotels always have like ballrooms or places that are enclosed where you can still have your wedding, where you can still enjoy all the things that you have planned for your big day. So make sure that you talk about that with the wedding planner from the hotel when you're doing that. And another thing is the first week of November, from the November the 1st to the 15th, are dates that are still with the lower price because the high season will start from November 15 and up. So if you can find some date on those days in November, you will be able to have a beautiful weather and no worries about hurricanes or sargassum or anything like that. And always choose to work with somebody that can guide you through all of this, with somebody that knows which hotels are the best on situations, managing situations, and you'll be in a good hands. What is the second point?
Yeah, let me tell you a story.
Yes.
Yeah, let me tell you a story. This past September, I
Yes.
had an Hindu wedding, and they have like 3 days of celebrations.
Yes.
Uh, and let me tell you, the first day they have a morning ceremony,
Yeah.
which is called the when they put like yellow thing on the face. It's a morning ceremony.
Yes.
Well, it started raining in the morning. We
Oh,
have a rainy morning.
yes.
And that's why it's very important to have a backup plan
Yeah.
or people with expertise to
Yes.
improvise real quick.
A good
You
hotel
know,
will always have a backup plan. Yeah. A good quality hotel
exactly,
will have a backup. Yeah.
exactly. In this case, the couple decided to keep it outside. They didn't
The rain.
decide to move it
Yeah.
indoors. So
Yeah.
at the end, it's up to the bride.
Of
If she
course.
decides to keep it outside, okay. It wasn't raining too bad. It was just a little bit,
Yeah.
a little raining. Okay. But you have to have the right people in there. For example,
Yes. Yeah.
myself, I can manage a little rain, and we did it. We end up with nice pictures, with an umbrella under the rain, use the flashes, the lights.
Yeah.
But yeah, you have to make sure you have the right people with the expertise in the background
Yes.
to be able to handle these situations. And
Excellent.
also talking about the wedding planner also has to have this experience to move fast if she has to move fast.
Yes.
Okay, and starting from the travel agent, because the travel agent, long before the day come, they have a contact with the planners and they analyze all these situations, possibilities, what if,
Yes.
and they have to be very careful with that in picking from the best travel agent to the best resort to the best planners to the best vendors.
Yes.
This is very important.
Yes, you have to work with somebody that it's knowledgeable, and the main thing is that they're problem solvers, right? That they know what to do when
Mhm.
situations arises. Now let's talk about the second point of these essential secrets, Javier, secrets to best photography.
Yeah, here are the secrets. I love sunsets. I love sunset photos. These dramatic skies or the golden hour, you know. And when you plan your wedding, when you plan the ceremony, it depends. It's going to be on winter time, it's going to be on summertime.
Yes.
There's a lot of difference. But why? Because it is not the same having the ceremony on summertime at 3 p.m. or 4 p.m. And when in summertime, I mean, in Cancun, here in the Caribe, is very, very hot, you know. And people that come from Canada, from the US, from the cold places, they're not used to this kind of heat and they're not used to this kind of humidity. So
Yes.
all the couple and the guests, they really, really suffer on the ceremony. Sometimes we have to like right after the ceremony to take a little break to go to the AC room because
Yes.
people is about to pass out, for the
Yeah.
heat. Uh,
I Yeah,
but
just to
mhm,
confirm what you're saying, I live in Texas and we have here many times in our summer we can reach 105. Sometimes it's normal to be on the hundreds for several days. And even us that live in Texas and we are used to the heat in Texas, in Dallas specifically, when we go to Cancun, me and my family on summer, let's say on June or July, it is so hot, so humid that you are not fine unless that you're in the water. It's just extremely hot. So you say, oh no, this is not a good time to be traveling. You don't feel like going to do activities or anything because it's just too hot. You just feel like you're melting, and we are used to the
Yeah,
we are in
exactly.
Dallas.
Yeah, yeah. People is not used to have a sweat on the face all the time, and that's
Yes,
what happened over here in summertime.
yes,
So the brides have to be very careful picking the time for the ceremony on summertime. I recommend it like 1 hour, 1 hour and a half close to sunset time. And on the summer, the sunset is like later than in the winter time. So you can have the ceremony like around 6, and it's going to be fine. 5:30, it's going to be fine. And that's very nice because when we have the ceremony at that time, it is right after the ceremony, we can take advantage of the golden hour. This beautiful golden
it's beautiful.
sunlight, beautiful. It's beautiful for stunning pictures. You
Yes,
know, and yeah, on winter time, if you plan the ceremony at the same time, which is 6 p.m., it's going to be dark by the end of the ceremony. So
yes,
we gotta be careful with the time, depending on the time
yes,
of the year, of the month of the year. Yeah, and I love sunsets. And if I have to give a tip to the brides, I can say that pick the time close to the sunset. So for the time for the portraits, you have this golden hour, these beautiful
yes,
skies on in
yes.
the background. Yeah,
I think those are the most unforgettable pictures that you can take when you are not only on your wedding day, but whenever you're traveling. I like to do that when I travel with my family. I always choose a photographer that can take pictures of us on the sunset hour, and you can know if the photographer is knowledgeable and a good photographer when those pictures turn really nice or not so good because it's that hour is very difficult to take. I have tried to take myself pictures of my son, of my husband at the sunset, and they come out all black. You just see the brightness, and you cannot see their faces. So you need to know how to do all of those tricks. So that's why
yes,
you have
yes,
the air for those things.
yeah. You have to be professional to get these beautiful sunset pictures. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, it is.
Javier, let's talk about photography outside of the hotels because Mexico is so rich in locations. What can you tell us about that?
Yeah, we have very nice photo shooting called Trash the Dress. It's
Yeah.
beautiful. You get beautiful photos. It's different from what people used to have when they have the photo shooting sessions. It's a session right after the wedding day. The next day, the next 2 days, we set up a meeting and we go to, it could be a different beach or it could be a cenote,
Yeah.
and the people get all dressed up again with the beautiful dress and the outfit, and we go to the cenote, and it can be just like on the around the water,
Yeah.
or it can be underwater.
Yeah.
The stunning photos are underwater
Oh
when we
yeah.
take the groom and the bride on the cenote and
Yes.
take them deep into the water, and we take the photos with a special equipment,
Yeah.
special lights, and these are stunning pictures. And
I
these
bet.
are very
Oh,
different photos.
oh,
Yeah,
I
dreamy
bet they're
photos.
amazing.
Mhm.
Uh,
Yeah,
that,
not all the brides are up to for the tries dress.
mm,
Uh, because it takes a little bit of like an adventure attitude.
yes,
They
not
have
every
to be
couple will
like,
like, yeah.
they like to like the adventure.
But if they would like pictures of themselves with their wedding dress, they can go just for the pictures in the cenote, right? They can hire you to do just the pictures, not trashing the dress or anything.
Exactly.
Just pictures
Yeah,
of
they don't have to go
just
under the water if they
just the
don't feel
skin.
like it.
Yeah,
But yeah, you can just go to a cenote. They can
yeah,
go to a cenote and like walk around, take some beautiful photos there. And if they want, just have like the feet in the water, and we still have
yeah.
these beautiful photos from the cenote. It's a
Now,
very different experience. I really recommend it.
yeah. Now, from the travel point of view, I have to say that your travel agent, like myself, will coordinate all of that because you will need the transportation from the hotel to the cenote. and coordination with the photographer, the times that you're where you're going to meet, at the time you're going to meet, and all of that. So all of that is coordinated by your travel agent. So you just go and enjoy yourself. Just be aware that it might be an extra fee, of course, for the transportation, but also for the photography that will have an extra cost for doing that. And for the cenote itself,
Yeah,
sometimes the private cenotes, you have to pay for 1 hour photography or 2 hours, wherever time you're going to be there, and that is going to be just for you, it's going to be private. So those are the things that you need to be aware as well. Now, Javier, let's talk about ways to save money.
yeah. Before that, I would like to mention about the trash address on the
Yes.
cenotes that as a bride they have to be very careful with the itinerary for going to the cenote.
Yes.
uh, for because for transportation, some photographers or some other vendors they schedule these excursions to the cenotes,
Oh, yeah.
and they use like their private car. They don't because they want to save money for the transportation. They use their own car, and it kind of works, but I will not really recommend it
Oh, no,
because
definitely not.
over here, if they, I don't know if you know, but over here to transport people, to get people in your car and take
You
it
have to
from
have
one
a
place to
special
another,
license.
you have like a special permission.
Yes.
You have to have a permit
Mhm.
for the government
Mhm.
to be able to transport tourists,
Yes.
like international people. If you don't have that, and in any case that you have an accident, you are not covered by any insurance at all.
Yes.
And that's the good thing that the transportation companies have. They have insurance. So
Yes.
in any case that you have an accident or a wreck, uh, you have insurance that cover like all everything, you know.
Yes.
So just be careful with that. That's why I insist having a travel agent behind. They take care of everything. They make sure the transportation people that is going to take the couple to the different places uh, is an agency that has all these regulations and insurance and everything.
Yes, no, definitely we work with just reliable companies that we trust and that we have tried, because there are so many
Mm-hmm.
options in Cancun, so many that will be trying to call your attention when you're just getting out of the airport. But not all those companies are registered. Not all those companies are really legal companies to operate. So we have to be careful.
Exactly.
It's our responsibility to make sure that when we are recommending or when we are hiring a service on behalf of our couples or our travelers, uh,
Mm-hmm.
they are companies that are trustworthy and that we know that they are going to deliver and they are going to be there on time. They're going to be a good units with comfortable seats and air conditioning. All those details matter. So we work with the ones that we can proudly recommend.
Exactly. Okay, now the next point, saving money. That's why we're
Yes,
here.
that's a good. Yes, everybody
Saving money.
wants to save money.
Okay. Yeah. We talk about the months of the year that you can save money, which is the lowest seasons like September, rainy seasons. Okay. But talking about photography itself, I can help the bride to save money by managing a smart timeline for their wedding day. Why I say that? Because sometimes I get a request from brides that inquire that say, okay, how much is your package for 10 hours, 10-hour service? Okay. And when I hear that, the first question I ask is, okay, let me see your timeline, and I will tell you if you really need 10 hours. Okay,
Yeah.
some brides ask me for 12 hours of coverage.
Mhm.
Okay, and okay, if I just wanted to sell, okay, I said, okay, here's the package of 12-hour service, okay,
Yeah.
but that's not my intention. My intention is to help the brides.
Mhm.
So I ask, okay, let me see your timeline, and I help you with it, and I'm going to figure out if you really need 10 or 12 hours. Okay, and some of the times is because the bride doesn't know what is really going to happen on the getting ready, or what is really going to happen on the reception time. Okay. If we want to save money, we can cut off time of service from those parts, from the beginning and from the end. From the beginning is for the getting ready because some brides, because the makeup and hair is going to arrive like 3 hours earlier, 4 hours earlier,
Yeah.
they believe that the photographer has to be there the entire time. And that's not true. Okay. If you want to save money, with 1 hour for getting ready is enough because the pictures for the getting ready starts when the hair and makeup are almost done.
Yeah.
Okay, we don't start like with the base makeup because
Yeah,
nobody wants
nobody
the
wants
picture
to
like
see
that.
those pictures. Yeah, nobody wants to see your picture without your makeup or anything. You don't want to see that. Yeah.
Exactly. So the pictures really start when they are like almost done with the makeup and hair. Okay, and we just capture the final things on that, and then like the adjusting the dress and everything else. But with I think that with 1 hour for the getting ready is going to be enough. Okay, 2 hours the most, but 1 hour it could be enough. So we already cut off like 2 hours over there. And now on the reception time, okay, the party can last like 5 hours.
Yeah.
If the reception starts at 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, it may finish at 11 or 12. Over here in the resorts, they don't take the party too long. They like cut the
Most of
party like
them
around
finish at
11 or
11,
12.
yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So most of the time is like 5 or 4 hours for reception time. Okay, so if you have the budget, it's okay. I can stay the 4 hours or the 5 hours to capture everything that happens there. Okay, but if you want to save money over there, the tip that I give to the brides is they to move all the protocols from to the beginning of the reception. What protocols? Like the entrance, the first dance, the parents' dance, the speeches during dinner, the cake cutting right after dinner. Okay, and then they can start the party. Okay, so most of the time, with 2 hours of receptions could be enough to have like the entire story captured from the getting ready to the final dances on the reception. You know the protocols, and I can end up with a 6 hour coverage instead of 8 or instead of 10, instead of 12.
Yes.
So I can end up with 6 hours of service with a complete story,
For the whole
you
day.
know,
That's
from the
fantastic.
beginning to the end.
Yeah, that's fantastic. That really, I bet that really saves them money because yes, I have heard of couples hiring photographers for a full day, and you are telling them how to save money. That's fantastic. Thank you. And
Yeah, and I can say one more thing about what is that can kill time on the wedding timeline of the wedding day. It's the gap between the ceremony and the reception. Sometimes when the receptions finish like around, for example, 5:30, most of the time they have the cocktail hour, like half an hour, and then they go to the reception. But sometimes I see that instead of having just like 1 hour break time there for the pictures, they have like a gap of 2 hours or 3 hours gap. So that kills the entire itinerary because there is
yeah, the
like
photographer has to be
time that
there.
we're
And,
not going to be able to use.
yeah, the photographer has
Exactly.
to be there waiting for
So
them.
managing the timeline with the planner and with the photographer, uh, we can give you a very nice tips to like shorten the gaps, so
Mm,
we don't have time on the air like wasting time.
yeah, yeah, very good advice. So, from the point
Mm-hmm.
of view of the travel agent planning a destination wedding for the couples, ways that you can save money is choosing to do a symbolic ceremony instead of a legal. A legal ceremony in Mexico requires blood tests, requires for all the documentation to be done in Spanish, then translated to English. So that will cost you on average $2,000. So if you choose to do symbolic, which most of the hotels do, it's gonna save you those $2,000. Another great option to save money when you're planning your destination wedding in Cancun is choose the local flowers, choose what is in the area, and the greenery. When you do your floral arrangements with a lot of greenery and some few flowers on there, it still looks super nice and luxurious, and it saves you a lot of money. The flowers that you choose, if are not the local ones, they have to be brought from United States and from other countries, keep on the fridge. They don't last too long, so the cost of that is going to be really high just because they are not from the area. Another way to save money is, of course, choose an all-inclusive hotel, just because in your wedding package, the meals, the drinks will be already included, so you don't have to add an extra cost on the catering for the food or the drinks, the open bar, all those things that your all-inclusive hotel already include all of that in their packages. Another point is, when you're bringing your group, the hotels offer what they call the extra perks. The more, the merrier. Let's say if you bring 10 rooms with you, then you might get from some hotels an extra perk of 1 hour cocktail hour. If you bring from 20 to 30 rooms, that could come with an extra perk, not only the cocktail hour, but they could also add the rehearsal dinner or the reception dinner for 4 hours. So it's important. It's important. The more people
Yeah,
that
yeah.
do, better for you, for your perks. And finally, it's always keep in mind that if you allow people that are attending your wedding to, let's say your hotel is for price, let's say 2,000 for 4 nights, and they decided they don't want to pay 2,000 and they choose another hotel and they went to another hotel and book it, they are booking outside of your room block. So when they come to your wedding, you will have to pay a day pass for them that many times is 100, 150. And you will have to pay the extra fee for the serving, for the ceremony, the extra setup. So keep those things in mind and always make sure that your group book the rooms within the room contract that you have with the hotel. So you don't lose your extra perks and you don't have to pay extra for them to be in the ceremony.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, talking about the fees, uh, about photography, make sure your resort has all these rules very clear for the if you want to bring your external vendors. Uh, it used to work like this. It used to work like, okay, you pay a vendor fee to bring your outside photographer or your outside makeup artist, outside flowers, whatever you want to bring from outside. Okay, you pay the vendor fee. There was a possibility to waive the vendor fee, like reserve. If you get a room for 3 nights for that vendor, that waive the vendor fee. So you don't have to pay the vendor fee if you get a room for this vendor for 3 nights.
Yes.
Some resort has that possibility. Okay. But I can mention that there is one resort that doesn't no longer have this option. It's the Hyatt Ziva in Cancun. I just had a bride and I was asking for some service there. And I give them this option. We contact the resort, we contact the planner, and finally the planner said that it's no more available that option. They have to pay the vendor fee, which is now rise up to $1,500 per
Mm,
vendor, which is kind of crazy.
yes.
Okay, but there is no more the option to book in the room for 3 nights for the vendors. No, unless in that resort.
Yes.
Okay, so double check on that with your planner, with your travel agency
Yes.
to double check these rules for the vendor fees. One tip I can mention is, for example, there is a vendor for hair and makeup. It's
Yes.
called Evolution.
Yes.
They had this very great idea. They have a big truck, with all the all what they use for the makeup,
Yes.
and they bring this big truck closer to the resort, so the bride just walk out of the resort, get in this truck, get all this hair and
Yes.
makeup done, and come back inside. So that way you don't have to pay the vendor fee. If you don't if you don't like the in-house hair and makeup service. So
Yes,
that could be a very nice option. Very smart.
that's very smart of them. I hope the resorts don't come out with something to cut that. Yes, more and
Mhm,
more the resorts are gearing toward the place where you can only use the vendors that are in the resort that the resort offer. And the reason is because they feel that if they already curated those vendors that work with them, they are people that they can trust and that they will deliver the quality of service that the resort is also offering to their guests. That is the reasoning. But thank God there are still many resorts that allow you to bring your favorite vendor, like your photographer or your makeup artist, to the resort by paying a vendor fee. For example, Grupo Lomas, they allow makeup artists and photographers. That's the only service that they allow in, and you have to pay a vendor fee of $800, which is not too bad. There are other chains like AIC hotels. They charge $1,500 per vendor per service, and it's only for photographers and makeup artists also. Uh, these two chains still allow for you to book the room for 3 nights for those external vendors, and they waive the fee. So you just have to make
mhm,
your numbers and see if it's better to pay the fee or it's better to put them in the hotel. But those things are knowledge that your travel agent will have. So just make sure that when you're
mhm.
deciding which hotel you want to work with, make sure to ask all these questions to your travel agent. Tell them that if you are planning to bring a external photographer, what's the best way to go with this or that hotel. So it's something that we will keep in mind when we are recommending and curating the hotels, the best hotels for your wedding.
Yeah, yeah, and just want to make something clear. I'm not against the in-house vendors.
Yeah.
There are a lot of people over there that have a lot of experience. There's a lot of people there that have uh, a lot of years working in the field. Uh, just make sure that it fits what you want. Make sure that they fit your style. Okay, and that you have enough reviews and recommendations for them, and that so you know where you're going to get at the end.
Yes, like for everything in your wedding decision, like when you are going to choose which travel agent is going to work with you, make an interview with two or three so you will feel the vibe, how you can feel, if you can trust them, if it's somebody that really has a good connections. All of those things will matter. And it's the same with every single vendor that is going to be part of your big day, from the hotel to the makeup artist to the photographer, who really fits your vibe, your needs, who is really listening to what you want, to what you have to say, because
Mhm,
there will be vendors that they will come and they will do what they do in the way that they want and however they choose to do, without really taking into place what you're saying, what you are requesting. So just make sure that you are wise when you're choosing your vendors so you can be absolutely happy with the final results of your wedding. Here, Javier and
mhm.
me, we are trying to give you information so you can make good decisions for that day. I think with this, Javier, we have
Okay.
finished this recording, and I think we are gonna be here in about 2 weeks. We are doing this every other week.
Awesome.
Fantastic.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. It was a pleasure to be here and see you in the next episode.
Yes. Until next time, my friends. Bye.
Until next time, have a wonderful day.
You too.
Adios.
Bye bye. Adios.